advance into the semifinals. All year long, this conference has been great, and all year long, the top 4 teams in this conference have been particularly great, and here they are, lined up in the semis. Hi, everybody, and welcome again to Nashville. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. This is, if you're a college basketball fan, this is probably exactly what you were hoping to see on this day in this building.
But how you could hope for it, but how could you have expected this kind of power? The most powerful conference in college basketball has its 4 best teams, all 4 ranked in the top 6 in the country in both the metrics and the polls. We've got the player of the year in the league, the defensive player in the year in the league, the coach of the year in the league, and then all 4 of the top candidates for coach of the year in the league. It's ridiculous how good this day is.
We couldn't be more excited. Let's look at today's player spotlight now, brought to you by Cintas.
Well, we have some X factors in this game, and one of the X factors is Jemai Mashak for Tennessee, an outstanding defensive player. And Jemai Mashak, you can see him cutting to the basket here, making a very intelligent cut off that slot pick and roll, making a great pass to Chaz Lanier as he cuts down the middle. An outstanding rebounder at both ends of the floor, and one of the best defenders, Dan Schulman, you will ever see. Can guard absolutely anyone, puts great pressure on, gets steals, and he was fantastic in that game against Texas. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal for Jemai Mashak. He is a stud.
For more, let's check in with Jess Sims.
Tennessee's Zakai Ziegler said he, Jemai Mashak, and Jordan Gainey have been preaching to the rest of the team about coming out strong and aggressive to start the SEC tournament. Now, last year, they were ranked number 1 and lost their first game by almost 20 points against number 9 Mississippi State in the quarterfinals. Coach Rick Barnes said, "We were pathetic and didn't come to play and got embarrassed, so it has been a point of emphasis all week." Ziegler said, "If we lose the tournament this year, it will not be because we were bullied or outworked." But based off that warm-up in their first and only matchup against Auburn in January, Dan, I don't think physicality is going to be a problem today.
No, I think you are bang on about that. More on that game in a moment. First, a look at Rick Barnes' 10th all-time in wins, better than 800. One back of John Calipari for 9th. Bruce Pearl, of course, used to coach at Tennessee. 6 years, 2005 to 2011. And the Tigers, not only are they the regular season champions this year, they are the defending SEC tournament champions. Nobody has won this tournament 2 years in a row since Kentucky did it 4 years in a row from 2015 through 2018. In terms of that regular season matchup, Jay, 53-51 Auburn. Tennessee led late, but the Tigers scored the last 6 points of the game. Miles Kelly knocked down a big 3. Do you think there will be more than 104 points scored in this one today?
I think there will be, but it might not be much more than that 104. Both these teams are outstanding defensively, and this is going to be, as Jess Sims said, a physical fistfight.
Chad Baker-Mazara, who did not start yesterday for the Tigers, is starting today. Our officials are Pat Adams, Don Daly, and KB Burdett, and it's Tennessee winning the opening tip.
Miles Kelly starting out on Chaz Lanier, who had 23 points yesterday. He's the leading scorer in this league. You got to stay with him and not help off, but there's going to be a ton of switching by this Auburn defense.
Ziegler had a great game yesterday in the quarterfinal win for Tennessee. Chaz Lanier was the guy who got it going early, and he's got it going early here today.
They were top blocking him. He came to the other side of the floor, a terrific fade, and then 1 dribble pull-up. That's the start he needed.
Denver Jones at the point, defended by Zakai Ziegler, 2 of the best perimeter on-ball defenders in the nation.
Ziegler makes you turn your back. He gets up underneath you and puts great pressure on the ball.
Johni Broome, his first touch. And a whistle and a foul going against Felix Okpara of the Volunteers.
Now take a look at Chaz Lanier right here. He's going to wind up coming over to the right side of the floor. And when he does, he's going to go right underneath that screen and then fade into the corner. Then that 1 dribble pull-up, and he gets it up quickly. He needs to get off to a good start and continue to hunt great shots to be a threat.
Nobody put up many numbers at all in that game between these two in January. It was so low scoring, but Johni Broome Still did. 16 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. That game, one of his Auburn tying record, 18 double-doubles on the season. If you're Tennessee, as Broome misses them both, and it's run down by Kelly, what do you anticipate the Vols will try to do with Broome here today?
I think you try to go single coverage for the most part because he is an excellent passer, and this is a very good shooting Auburn team.
And another turnover. Jones knocks down a 3, and Auburn's got it back again.
And these turnovers are simple play turnovers. These are the kind of things that really drive you nuts, or just giveaways.
Baker Mazzara, 6 assists in yesterday's win. Broome wants a clear out. He wants some space. Going right at Akpara again, and he banks it in.
He's going to score, but you can't leave the perimeter shooters open to give up open threes. If you double them, you have to ask yourself, how do we feel about open shots? Because you'll give them up.
The starting 5 for the Vols. Lanier, the leading scorer, second team All-SEC. Ziegler, first team All-SEC.
Really, for the Tennessee Volunteers, the Tennessee big guys are going to have a good game. Igor Milicic Jr., Felix Akpara, they've got to score in this one.
Lanier, little shot fake and a drive, and he's got all 5 for the Vols.
He just did a great job of attacking the closeout. Little up fake, got around Chad Baker Mazzara. If he can drive it and shoot it, he's going to be that much more dangerous in this game.
Auburn lost its last 2 coming into this tournament at A&M and then at home against Alabama. They beat Ole Miss by 5 yesterday, and Baker Mazzara is on the board.
Baker Mazzara set a screen, then got a screen. Boy, he is a tough shot maker. Milicic was right there.
Meshack, the extra pass. Milicic for 3. And Tennessee back on top.
That can be a game changer for Tennessee. If Milicic can knock down some perimeter shots, that opens things up.
The senior from Croatia, previously at Virginia and Charlotte, a double-figure score on the season. Kelly, and everybody's knocking him down right now.
Just a simple fade screen by Dylan Cardwell. Milicic had to pick him up. Kelly, I think the best shooter on this Auburn squad.
Already a much different feel here today than the game between these two back in January.
But Chaz Lanier is really going to have to run through cuts because he is getting grabbed.
Kelly giving chase. Now a switch Broome on him.
Drive this.
Lanier will put it up and hit again. And Chaz Lanier's already got 8 points in this game.
He can put points on the board in a hurry. But he had 19 against Texas in the first half. Can he do it in the second half? Because he's the type of guy that 36 would be in his range.
Both teams are 4 for 4. Neither team has missed a shot yet. Kelly driving Ziegler. Now the pull-up. And the first miss for either team, and a foul. Going after the rebounding, and who's it going to be?
Milicic. I mean, he just grabbed Dylan Cardwell. Here's that little fade screen, a terrific screen by Dylan Cardwell. Then you got to switch it. And Chaz Lanier gets the switch with Janai Broome. I thought he should have driven it, but when you can drill a shot from that distance, 3 is better than 2.
Subs for both coaches. Both of these teams have outstanding options off the bench. Chaney Johnson, Tahad Pettiford have come into the game for Auburn. And for Tennessee, Jordan Gainey is in the game now.
That foul on Milicic, that wasn't a blockout foul. That was a mugging.
Kelly just went flying. Pettiford, a member of the SEC All-Freshman team. The McDonald's All-American, not shy, couldn't hit the 3, and Akpara skies for the rebound. Ziegler left it short, and here comes Pettiford. Don't know if Baker Mazzara got a fingertip on that.
I think he did.
Yep. Kelly, a deep one. And Akpara, a nice job to get the rebound with Broome in the vicinity.
Akpara is really working hard on the defensive glass.
They've got to make sure they keep him from getting that second foul early. You know the Tigers would love to get him another one. Ziegler, great pass. Milicic the lay-in.
How beautiful was that? The little step-up pick and roll, and then a beautiful pocket pass. That's about as tight a window as you can get the basketball through.
Yesterday became Tennessee's all-time single-season record holder in assists. And if they win today, he could have become their career record holder tomorrow, if not certainly in the NCAA tournament. Baker Mazzara, good position for Broom, and that's almost automatic.
Yeah, it's not much you can do when you let him catch it with a foot in the paint, because he's going to spin to that right shoulder and go to that left hand. He's just so good with that.
A long stretch without a whistle, and both teams really clicking at the offensive end.
A good denial by Miles Kelly to keep it away from Chaz Lanier.
Broom on Gainey. Gainey trying to drive him. The reverse will go.
And a terrific job by Felix Akpara of screening off Chad Baker Mazzara. He couldn't get there. Chaney Johnson not in help side position.
What a way to start semifinal Saturday here in Nashville.
There's the flex. They got the crackback guy.
And Chaney Johnson with good position, but couldn't knock it down. Milicic wide open. And a break there for Auburn. He's a good shooter. And Baker Mazzara really more of a facilitator yesterday. 6 assists and 1 turnover in the win over Ole Miss. He can help this team in a lot of different ways. Spins. The Euro, the step through and the finish.
Well, you just can't let him refuse a ball screen. Just spun back, and that really puts your defense in a tough spot.
Gorgeous move there by Baker Mazzara. Auburn back within 1. Ziegler telling Akpara, go set a ball screen. Gainey has to pick it up, finds Milicic.
They're trying to put Janai Broom in as many ball screens as they can. Get him away from the basket and make him switch if he has to.
Late in the shot clock, Ziegler takes a 3, and Pettiford fouled him. So it'll be 3 free throws for Zakai Ziegler when we come back to Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville. What a start. Great offense, Jay, at both ends.
Watch Zakai Ziegler. Gets the ball screen, that little short roll. What a beautiful pocket pass. Then Baker Mazzara. You can't let him refuse that ball screen. Make him use it. European.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. And Bill Burr, Drop Dead Years, the hilarious stand-up special, is now streaming on Hulu. Well, yes, Bruce Pearl was the coach back in Tennessee. We all remember that day. No shirt, painted orange. Bruce being Bruce. He had 6 seasons there. 2005 through 2011 was a 2-time coach of the year with Tennessee, and as of yesterday or this week, a 2-time coach of the year with Auburn as well. Needless to say, they're filling it up, Mr. Billis, a little bit quicker today than they did on January the 25th. It took 8, and in the case of Tennessee, 11 minutes for the 2 teams to get to 10 points. Both of them were there within the first 3.5 here today.
Yeah, this has been a different game. 75% from the field for Tennessee thus far, 60% for Auburn. Both teams up over 50% in 3-point shooting.
You've talked to Rick Barnes a lot about Zakai Ziegler over the years. What do you think Barnes' favorite thing about Ziegler is?
He's a high-level leader and culture setter every single day, and he's been that way since he first got to Tennessee 4 years ago from Long Island, New York. You don't have to ever say giddy up to Zakai Ziegler.
Chris Moore into the game for Auburn. Darlin Stone, Dubar, Cade Phillips for Tennessee. And the open 3 will go for Chaney Johnson, who's had some big games for the Tigers this year. A little quiet recently, but always a threat to break out and be a huge factor. Well, that's a tough pass.
It is a tough pass and a good catch by Jordan Gainey.
I mean, that might have been interference in the NFL. 12 to shoot. Dubar, a big physical wing. Now Gainey over Cardwell. Around and out, and the rebound down to Moore.
Well, you really have to run your offense with pace in the half court. If you stand around, you're going to get grabbed. It's going to be hard to move.
Kelly lost it. Pettiford puts it up. Tipped by Johnson, and that gets Auburn another possession.
Johnson just went right over the top of Gainey because of the size advantage.
Pettiford at the point. Kelly open on the wing. And Gainey this time holds Johnson off for the rebound. Ziegler swings it to Gainey.
When the ball screens are run in the middle of the floor, it's a little bit easier for Tennessee because Auburn is icing them, trying to keep it to a side.
How about that drive and finish by Ziegler? He's got 5.
When he crosses over, he gets so low, he can just get into your hip. And Tahad Pettiford is awfully quick, but it is really hard to stay in front of Zakai Ziegler.
Tennessee by 3 in the early going. Semifinal #1 of the SEC tournament. Out of bounds to the Volunteers.
Zakai Ziegler attacks the hip. He plays lower and uses his leverage, and he is really strong. But strong and ultra quick. Just gets right past into your hip and able to finish it.
Ball pressure on their bigs. They hate it, and it disrupts everything else. You cannot be out there and not ball pressure their bigs because it throws off their timing. It just does. Great job offensively. Great job. Defensively, we got to be more physical. We got to be more physical getting through screens, be more physical building a wall, right?
Physical's a word I think we're going to hear from these two coaches a lot today. You cannot win a game like this unless you're willing to play a very physical brand of basketball.
Yeah, and his point about pressuring the Tennessee big guys is a good one. There are some coaches that don't want to get out and pressure big guys. They want you to kind of hang back a little bit. But Bruce Pearl thinks that you don't want to let a guy who may be a non-handler pressure that guy, take away his vision, because he's not as likely to drive around you.
Ziegler on the bench right now for Tennessee. Broom and Jones and Baker Mazzara all on the bench right now for Auburn. Phillips back to Gainey, who's at the point with Ziegler sitting down. And who's that off of? Off of Pettiford. It'll still be Tennessee ball with 8 on the shot clock.
That's an awfully difficult pass to make in large measure because Dylan Cardwell switched out. And he plays with such high hands. It's tough for Gainey to see over him. And there's a big on the ball now. Now Gainey's got to inbound it over Dylan Cardwell.
And Chaney Johnson gets called for a hold.
Now, this kind of thing happens all the time. He just did it right in front of the official, where you're holding a cutter, and that, when you do it out in the open like that, but when you're coming off screens, guys are grabbing, and sometimes it doesn't. Well, oftentimes it doesn't get seen.
So a fresh 20 as Gainey brings it back into the front court for the Volunteers. Lanier hot in the early going, 3 for 3, including a couple of three-pointers. Gainey from the corner. Phillips with a rebound, and it's going to be on Johnson as he picks up 2 quick fouls.
Cade Phillips just outworks everybody. I mean, he's going against a guy who doesn't get outworked very often, Chaney Johnson. He just wedged him kind of under the basket and held him off and then let the ball come to him. Oftentimes, in a corner shot, is going to come long. And Phillips is a worker, man.
Yesterday in the quarterfinal against Texas, Phillips came off the bench, had 6 rebounds. 5 of them were offensive rebounds, and on the season, Jay, almost 50% of his rebounds were at the offensive end.
Yeah, he knows he's not the type of guy they're going to throw it to him in the post, but he does a great job setting screens and rolling, and then he gets position and understands angles.
What a nice touch off the glass, speaking of angles, from Chaz Lanier.
Yeah, they were forcing him down. They're icing that and kind of forcing him down toward the baseline, but just Chris Moore gave him too much of an angle to the basket instead of toward the corner.
Largest lead of the game now for either team. Tennessee by 5. Jones a miss, and Okpara his 5th rebound of the afternoon.
Well, he has been a man on the glass on the defensive end.
Broom has returned for Auburn. Johnson went to the bench after the second foul. Milicic back in. Meshack with Cardwell on him.
I like Chaz Lanier when he catches that ball on the run rather than a standstill.
Gainey, no. Milicic working hard, but it's off him out of bounds.
Tennessee's really getting their work done early on the offensive glass. See how Moore's feet are? Instead of sending him more toward the corner, he just was a little bit too open to allow that straight line drive with the left hand. But give credit, that was a tough two that he had to make. It's not like he allowed him to get all the way to the rim. That was a tough shot that a tough shot maker, Chaz Lanier, put in off the glass.
In double figures, less than 11 minutes into the game. Ziegler has returned for Tennessee. Baker Mazzara back in for Auburn. Jaheim Hudson in for the first time for the Tigers as well, as that pass is deflected out of bounds.
Yeah, they're using Tahad Pettiford to set a screen, hoping to get a switch, and Zakai Ziegler just read it to knock the ball away.
Right now, Joe Lunardi has Auburn as the #1 overall seed. He's got Tennessee as a 2 seed. The Volunteers would love to get up onto the 1 line. But at the moment, it's about winning a game and winning a championship here in Nashville as well. And there's an automatic again when he gets the touchdown there. Janai Broom.
He's just amazing. It's not like Janai Broom rises up high over you. He gets that shot off so quickly, you can't time it to block it.
And teams do what they can to try to get him to go to his right-handed, but he's so good at getting back to his left.
It's like trying to stop a dump truck from parking.
The SEC Player of the Year and one of the 2, realistically, candidates for National Player of the Year, along with Cooper Flagg from Duke.
He just gets into your body and then locks you on the floor and then gets that shot up quickly. You know, it's basically a below-the-rim type of play, but it's impossible to stop.
Champ Week rolls on tonight at 6 Eastern here on ESPN. It's the championship game from the Phillips 66 Big 12 tournament. Arizona and Houston, and then at 8:30 Eastern, it'll be the ACC tournament championship from Charlotte, the 2 seed Louisville, and the 1 seed Duke, each of whom had very, very close games in the semis.
Emmanuel Sharp was so good yesterday for Houston. 26 points. He was unstoppable.
Pettiford, no. Akpara has the rebound, but he's getting called for the foul, and that is a big one because it is #2 on him.
He touched absolutely no one. If that's on Akpara, he didn't touch anybody.
Is it on Akpara? That was the initial, no, or is it Meshack? It's Meshack.
Okay.
With a push in the back.
Yeah, Akpara didn't touch anybody.
Yeah, Akpara was looking at Don Daly, and then he kind of reacted as if Daly had pointed to him, but Daly was pointing at Meshack. So instead of 2 on Akpara, it's 1 on Meshack.
Pettiford just can't get open with Ziegler on him.
And then Ziegler knocks it away from Broom. Auburn gets it back. Got to get a shot off. Pettiford, no. And Lanier, a great job to come down with a rebound.
Well, he battled for that. Thought Chaney Johnson had that corralled, but he took it away. What a great rebound by Chaz Lanier.
Volunteers have come to play here today.
Got the switch. Is he going to shoot it again or drive him this time?
Driving him. Kicking it. Ziegler lays it in. Tennessee by 7.
Boy, the initial penetration allowed Zakai Ziegler to drive the closeout by Chad Baker Mazzara. That's beautiful offense.
And listen to the noise here in Nashville. Both of these programs have brought a ton of fans into the SEC tournament. Baker Mazzara, a force, and a follow by Broom. He's got 8.
It's amazing. You're having to make something off of a broken play.
And Bruce Pearl has called a timeout. 7:22 to go in an intense first half in Tennessee with a 5-point lead.
Chaz Lanier gets the switch. He decides to drive Janai Broom. And now Chad Baker Mazzara has to close out. Ziegler just blows right by him. Tennessee is playing really well.
Tennessee up 5 on Auburn here in semifinal #1 of the SEC tournament. Moments ago, Jess Sims spoke with Tennessee coach Rick Barnes.
Coach, Coach, another hot start for Chaz Lanier, and you're shooting over 60% as a team. What do you like about the shots you guys are taking so far?
Well, again, we're fine on the offensive end. I mean, we're playing and doing what we do, but we got to do a better job defensively. We're allowing Janai Broom just to get it way too deep, and going for a play like that where we have no shot at blocking and giving up an offensive rebound. We got to do a better job here, but Chaz has got to figure it out. He keep doing what he's doing.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Chaz has got it figured out. 4 for 4, 10 points in the early going. Broom 4 for 4, 8 points for Auburn. Tennessee as a team shooting 64% so far, 9 for 14. Second big first half, second fast start in as many days for Lanier.
Lanier is just an outstanding scorer. I mean, he averages 20 points or 18, 19 points a game. He's 5th in the league in scoring. And he, if you leave him open, he's going to make it. But what I like most about what he's doing is putting the ball on the deck and driving. And he's really doing a good job cutting. And when he catches it on the run, I think he's even more effective.
Baker Mazzara on him at the moment. Here comes Lanier for a touch. Hudson switches onto him. Now Ziegler. Again, constant switching by Auburn. Meshack deflected by Broom. 3 on 2. Baker Mazzara, the hesitation, and it won't go for him. Hudson somehow kicks it out to Kelly. And Kelly scores. Boy, he had to go around a couple of balls. And his fallen teammate, Baker Mazzara, who is grimacing and limping as he gets back down on defense.
Auburn has scored off some broken plays. That's been as good offense as they've had.
And a foul away from the ball going against the Tigers. It'll be on Kelly.
Yeah, he just grabbed Chaz Lanier. He's trying to top lock him. Every loose ball, everybody on the floor. Turns out to be a broken play. We'll find out if anybody's hurt later. Take it to the basket.
Baker Mazzara out of the game now. Walked to the bench. Chris Moore has gone in. Baker Mazzara reached down and grabbed his left leg and now ankle. It looks a little bit more like as he is on the bench. We'll keep you posted on that.
Tennessee shooting 64% in this game. They're only up by 1 possession.
Lanier, pull up. Did not draw iron, and it's Auburn ball.
Really good job by Janai Broom. Got caught on a switch on Chaz Lanier. Just stayed in front and made him take a really difficult 2-point shot. That's the goal of this Auburn defense. They want to build a wall, and then they want to take away your threes to make you take nothing but tough twos, and then they'll go rebound them.
On offense, 14 minutes into this game, Auburn has yet to turn the ball over. They're shooting 45%. Tennessee now at 60. Jones, a lot of traffic, and that's going to be a held ball. The possession arrow keeps it with Auburn, but Bruce Pearl is screaming for a foul.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was with the right hand that Dubar got the ball tied up.
Broom, another touch. No double. Now it comes from Dubar. Open is Jones. Boy, a good look for a good shooter, but it's down to Ziegler.
Yeah, that's the decision with doubling. He's a good passer out. If you double him, you give up a wide open 3. Denver Jones doesn't miss many of those.
Boy, Ziegler just a magician with the basketball. Gainey kicks it back to him.
Well, you really have to stay down on Zakai Ziegler's fakes.
The 3 a little bit short. Kelly the rebound.
Good job by Denver Jones to take Chaz Lanier out of that play on the rebound. Lanier had a lane to it.
Jones just trying to shoo away Zakai Ziegler. Can't do it. Broom at the foul line. Hits again. Janai Broom, 5 for 5, 10 points.
Chris Moore really went head hunting on that screen to free up Janai Broom right at that SEC logo in the middle of the lane. That's a great screen.
And it's Tiger fans who are the noisy group right now. Off Ziegler's leg and out of bounds.
Denver Jones very fortunate there. There were two hands on the ball handler, didn't get called. That's supposed to be automatic. But it looks like they're going to take a look, see if there's a little extracurricular activity.
We will go to a timeout as the officials discuss what they may be looking at on the monitor. That right there.
Reese Davis, Jay Williams, and Seth Greenberg coming up at halftime. Get you updated on the Big Ten semifinals, Wisconsin and Michigan State. Also look ahead to the Big 12 title game. What's the most significant thing you've seen in the first half?
I think Auburn just settling in defensively, chasing Chaz Lanier at the three-point line later and making Sakai Ziegler score at the rim.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's doing a good job of creating switches and then attacking those switches and putting the defense in rotation. See the adjustment that Rick Barnes makes the second half.
We'll see you at halftime, guys.
Reese, thank you very much. Let's go back to that last play that led to the video review. The contact between Miles Kelly of Auburn and Sakai Ziegler of Tennessee. Kelly appears to walk into Ziegler. Ziegler then with a shove, and it is offsetting dead ball contact technical fouls. No free throws because they offset. They count as personals. Number 1 on Ziegler, but maybe more notably, it's number 2 on Kelly.
A diplomatic decision because it doesn't have any free throws attached to it. I mean, it's not great for Miles Kelly to pick up his second foul, but probably the best possible result given the situation.
Baker Mazzara, the lob to Broom. And his first miss of the afternoon. A little bit late getting back into the play. Dubar misses the three. Tip no good. And it's off Cade Phillips out of bounds.
Well, if you can keep that ball alive, which Chaz Lanier did. Miles Kelly tried to block him out, just couldn't get it done.
Jones and Ziegler, 2 of the 10 National Defensive Player of the Year semifinalists. Jemai Meshack in this game is another one. Broom to the right hand this time. How smooth was that?
It's a little diagonal up screen and screen for the screener action by Chad Baker Mazzara. And Janai Broom is getting low post position almost wherever he wants it.
8:01 Auburn, and now a steal by Cardwell. And the slam. And right now, it sounds like we're in the jungle down in Auburn, not here in Nashville. Gainey cannot get a look, kicks it back out. Off to Ziegler with 7 on the shot clock. Gainey's 3, no. Dubar runs it down for the Volunteers in a fresh possession.
Miles Kelly did a great job on Chaz Lanier, not letting him get open, but now it's Cardwell having to guard him.
Drive and kick. Dubar forcing his way on the baseline and muscling it up and in.
What a strong move by Darlington Dubar.
Back to a 1-point game.
Back screen to get Janai Broom down low.
And a foul on Janai Broom.
Well, he took a shot right at Jordan Gainey. I wonder if they'll take a look at that because it was right around the head and neck of Gainey. Got the back screen for Miles Kelly. That was another screen for the screener action. No, that was nothing.
Are they going to look at it? Don Daly blowing the whistle, trying to get the attention of the other 2 officials.
I mean, there was definitely contact. He used his palm, though. I don't know. Maybe they will decide to upgrade this. That one angle, it just looked like incidental contact, but maybe because of the
call on the floor
palm.
is a common foul. The play is under further review.
Pat Adams with the explanation. They are going to look at the contact between Broome and Gainey to see if the foul on Broome should be upgraded. Tennessee fan, well, everybody just saw a replay here in the arena. You know how Tennessee fans feel. The hand up into the face of Gainey, and as you well know, Jay, sometimes that can be the tipping point.
Yeah, I mean, these are usually 50-50. I mean, where do you come out on this? I mean, I would lean toward incidental contact. You got the foul. I don't see upgrading it being an issue, but reasonable minds could differ.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did upgrade it.
That's why I said 50-50. I agree.
Oh, I thought you were excluding me from the reasonable minds part of the conversation.
No. You're the most reasonable mind I know. I don't know many people.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised at the physicality and the intensity between these two teams. Two of the very best teams in the nation all season long. And it will be just a common foul, looks like.
The call on the floor stands. It will be a common foul on white number 4.
Common foul on Broome. It is the 17th foul on Auburn, so it is 1-1 for Gainey. The coaches taking advantage of the review to get a free timeout.
Surprised I didn't go back to the hotel.
Kind of surprised they're not hurrying them out of the huddles here, but now starting to blow the whistle and get it back on the court. Broome saying to Pat Adams there, I was going for the ball, which he clearly was. I don't think there was any intent. Not that that always is the difference maker, but it is staying at just a common foul.
That's like a lawyer talking to the judge after the judge has already ruled in his or her favor.
Right.
You trying to talk them out of it? They just ruled in your favor.
Dubar's had some good moments here in the first half. That's knocked out of bounds by Broome. And with this group, Dubar can play the 3 or also kind of a smaller 4, but he's a very physical smaller 4 in this lineup.
Yeah, that's a big body out there.
He's listed as a guard on their roster, but he's 6'6", 220, and very strong. Tough one. Lanier, not this time, and Broome the rebound.
What a great switch by Dylan Cardwell. It was a little fade, then rescreen, and he was right there on the catch. Made it a really difficult 2 for Chaz Lanier.
Into Cardwell. Got Akpara on it. And Broome will go to the free throw line.
Well, that was a really nice cut by Janai Broome to get that little handoff, and he is so difficult to deal with, and when he gets up ahead of steam, I don't know who wants to get in front of him.
Number 2 on Felix Akpara to send Broome to the line. 0 for 2 today. Had a couple very early in this game. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Johnsonville, reminding you to keep it fun, keep it together, and keep it juicy.
For the most part in this first half, Dan, Tennessee has kept Auburn off the foul line. It's just been Janai Broome going a couple times. He hasn't been able to cash in yet.
And has missed all 4. 62% on the season. And visibly frustrated with himself. Akpara, by the way, went to the bench after the second foul. Cade Phillips with the ball has returned. Nice look. But Lanier can't get a shot off. Here comes Milicic with a full head of steam. Blocked by Cardwell. Lanier gathers, 5 to shoot. He goes right by Broom. And the tip up and good for Milicic.
But Cardwell worked his tail off defensively, but when both Broom and Cardwell went after that block shot, that opened up the offensive glass. Two shot blockers going to the ball is never a good thing unless you block it.
Bruce Pearl was asking an official for a review for basket interference. They play on, and Jones will drive and draw the foul.
A terrific up fake to open up that drive. And man, when you go after that block shot, that can open up the offensive glass. Johni Broome, because he was up top, could not get a block out on two Tennessee Volunteers.
Denver Jones now at the line for Auburn. As we mentioned, extremely well regarded as a defensive player, but in a couple of recent interviews, Bruce Pearl's gone out of his way to say, hey, don't forget about this guy at the offensive end. And he makes a great point. He's a double-figure scorer, a 42% three-point shooter this year, and he's now made 74 of his 80 free throws on the season. Make it 75 of 81.
Yeah, over half of his field goal attempts are three-pointers. Almost another turnover in the out of bounds.
And then a very crafty play by Ziegler to draw the foul. Just put the brakes on, and Jones ran him over. Number 2 on Denver Jones.
At the line shooting
1 and 1 for Zakai Ziegler.
This game started out like a track meet, but it's now the tempo I think we expected all along, where it's going to be a half-court slugfest, and you're really going to have to run your offense with pace.
Tennessee's largest lead was 7. Auburn's was 3. Vols by 1 right now.
There's the quick post.
A block by Ziegler. It's still Auburn ball, but how about that?
Zakai Ziegler is just a fantastic defender. Timed it out perfectly. Didn't leave the floor until Denver Jones did, and that is easy to say. It's not easy to do.
If you're wondering, that's his 9th block shot on the season. And now Jones draws a foul.
Yeah, Jones set a screen right away on the inbounds, then got a screen from Cardwell, and just drove right into the crowd to pick up that foul.
Kelly's going to sit. Moore returns. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. And it's 1 and 1 for Jones.
Jones defensively is like one of those cover corners in football. He doesn't have a lot of interceptions because they don't throw his way very often. And he often holds his assignment well under his average.
It's the front end. Second semifinal coming about 25 minutes after the end of this one. You want to talk about a track meet? How does Florida and Alabama sound? Two of the very best offensive teams in the nation. Each went for 95 or better in the semis yesterday. In the quarters yesterday, excuse me. Going to be a lot of fun and hopefully just as intense and close as this one. Shot clock turned off. Lanier. No. Gainey the save. Ziegler. Got a good look but couldn't knock it down at the end of the half. And a very intense first 20 minutes comes to a close with the top seed, the Auburn Tigers, holding a narrow 1-point lead on Tennessee. Let's go to Jess Sims with Bruce Pearl.
Coach, in your huddles, you talked a ton about defensive intensity. What are you liking so far?
Well, I thought we're getting after it defensively. We did a pretty good job of guarding without fouling. You know, the way they run that floppy, it's hard to get through those screens with the bigs. And I thought we did a pretty good job. Got off to a bad start. Tennessee was hot early, but I like the way we bounced back.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
1-point game at the half. Two great teams and a spot in the championship game tomorrow on the line here in Nashville. For their thoughts, let's go to Reese and the guys.
Dan, thank you. 5 ties, 9 lead.
Welcome back to Champ Week, presented by Principal. You're watching the SEC tournament. Not surprisingly, leading the way for the regular season champs, the Auburn Tigers. Player of the Year candidate Janai Broome, who has 12 points in this game, 6 for 7 from the floor. Zakai Ziegler leading Tennessee with 11, including a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. It's very physical, it's very intense, and it's very close. Zakai Ziegler, though, Jay, not the only volunteer playing well, as it's time now for today's Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal.
Well, Chaz Lanier got off to a really hot start for Tennessee, but the Auburn defense really settled in, and Auburn likes to switch a lot. And they're trying to stay in front of him. He gets a ball screen. Janai Broome switches off. The task is take away the 3, but stay in front of him and force the tough 2. That's exactly what Janai Broome did here. And then he's going to get a little fade screen, then a rescreen, and Dylan Cardwell switches up right into him, takes away the 3. Then he puts it on the deck, doesn't let him get to the rim, but angles him out, makes him take the tough 2. And you're thinking, wait, hey, you know, Auburn has to do a better job on closeouts. They're allowing Zakai Ziegler to get in the lane. Well, they're just giving up a 2. Auburn is taking away the 3-point line from Tennessee. One thing Tennessee needs to do a better job of in the second half, take care of the ball. 6 turnovers in that first half for Tennessee. That led to 9 points for Auburn. Auburn only has 2 turnovers.
Our Jess Sims had a chance to speak with Rick Barnes moments ago.
Coach Rick Barnes said, we are playing as expected. The game is going as expected. And listen, we can talk about X's and O's all we want, but it's going to come down to the competitive spirit. We've got to be focused. We've got to be alert. We need to fight every single possession if we want to win this game.
And something, I'm sure, a message that Tennessee players have heard often from their coach, who has been doing this at both of these coaches have been doing this at a very high level for a very long time. And they both would desperately love to move on to the championship game here for the SEC tournament. Florida, Alabama still to come. But we've got at least 20 more minutes of basketball here between the Tigers and the Vols. Tennessee ball to begin the second half.
Miles Kelly starting out on Chaz Lanier, but again, Auburn does a lot of switching. You see a lot of different guys on him.
Baker Mazzara on Lanier right now. Akpara setting the screen. Now Cardwell on Lanier. Gives it up, though. Milicic will drive it. Can't get a shot off. Kicks it out. Meshack, an off-balance shot, and he's fouled.
Boy, Auburn got Tennessee down to the last seconds of the shot clock, but Miles Kelly just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar there. Couldn't pull it away in time. That's not when you want to foul. Make them take that tough 2.
Number 3 on Miles Kelly, and remember the dead ball contact technical foul. That situation between him and Zakai Ziegler in the late stages of the first half. That was his second foul. Now he's got 3. Bruce Pearl knows it, but he's not making a move. And a couple of misses from Meshack. He's a good free throw shooter, 77% of the season.
You have to expect that Auburn is going to look again into Janai Broome.
Ziegler takes it away from Jones, who fouls him. And Denver Jones has picked up his 3rd foul.
Boy, Zakai Ziegler again just getting lower. I mean, he was born in a stance. He can really move his feet and so strong. Just mishandling of the ball because of the pressure. That allows Ziegler the opportunity to take it the other way. Just a little bit of a grab. Denver Jones grabbing him and pleading his case. He thought he got fouled.
And Bruce Pearl just sent Chris Moore into the game. It's for Kelly. So he's got 2 guards, each with 3 fouls. Kelly is out. Jones will stay.
Chris Moore is an outstanding defender, but not a scorer. That's a lot of shooting, leaving the floor to go to the bench for Auburn.
Moore at the moment on Lanier. Ziegler turns the corner. Good luck catching him.
Tennessee is running their offense higher now. And because they're running it higher, they can get on the run and get downhill a little bit easier.
Ziegler having an outstanding game. He's got 13 right now. Broom kicks it back out to Jones. 7 on the shot clock. Deflected by Meshack. Moore, no. Cardwell, eventually yes.
Dylan Cardwell, such a good offensive rebounder. Milicic just couldn't get in front of him, and it's that second and third effort.
Look at how quickly Ziegler got Tennessee down the floor on offense. Broom talking to Ziegler as he's guarding him. Ziegler might do the talking on the way back. And he is. Ziegler taking advantage of the switching.
Ziegler is one tough dude, man.
The double on Broom. And Ziegler fouls Baker Mazzara. Looks like they're amicable, just talking a little hoops on the court, Jay.
What do you think he's saying now? I'm bigger than you. I'm bigger. I can guard.
Yeah.
I can guard. Well, watch me go by you.
Right. I'd love to know what Ziegler said on the way back, because he did say something to him.
Yeah, he said, you can guard.
Yeah.
You just can't guard me.
Broom draws another foul.
That's just vintage Shania Broom. He's moving backwards, but still able to get the shot up with that quick strike. That is just so difficult to guard. It's like trying to guard a Volkswagen backing up.
Number 2 on Igor Milicic Jr. Broom back to the line, where it has been a struggle today. Number 3, excuse me, on Milicic. Broom is 0 for 4 from the line. It is heated here in Nashville here early in the second half. The first make of the afternoon.
It's physical to get to the foul line.
Auburn won this tournament last year. The last time Tennessee won it was in 2022 in Tampa. Broom makes them both.
Let's see if Tennessee continues to run their offense a little bit higher on the floor.
Milicic to the bench. Phillips back in now that Milicic has 3. Remember, Denver Jones playing with 3 fouls. Ziegler gets a little room but misses the 3, and Cardwell holds off Okpara for the rebound.
Jones went under that screen, allowed Zakai Ziegler to pull up behind it. He just didn't make it.
Again going to Broom. Phillips defending.
He's so good on that right side because he can throw that hook pass with his left hand.
Jones slipped. And did they get Ziegler again? They did. Another foul on Ziegler, his 3rd, and Jones will go to the line.
Wasn't a ton of contact there. You have to give Denver Jones credit. When he went down, he stuck with it. Yeah, there was contact.
And mark this down. 1-point game, 17-10. Ziegler to the bench.
And you remember yesterday, it was in the first half when he picked up his 2nd. He was out for, what, 6 minutes or so?
Yeah.
And totally changed the complexion of the game. Tennessee is not the defensive team, the same defensive team as when he is in the game.
Jones makes them both, and Auburn's lead is now 3.
So right now, where the ball is going to go for offense. Chris Moore on Zakai Ziegler, or excuse me, on Chaz Lanier. Good fade.
Lanier can't hit it. The tip no good by Phillips, and Baker Mazzara's got it for Auburn.
I don't think Auburn gets near the credit they deserve for being a really good defensive team. Their schemes are excellent.
Broom gets the bounce.
You let him get to that charge circle, and especially going over that right shoulder, it's money.
And both Broom and Baker Mazzara saying to the Auburn fans, let's hear you. As Chris Moore is called for a foul.
Yeah. Chaz Lanier trying to come around the screen, just grabbed him. But just this crab dribble to get to the middle of the lane. Gainey's either got to go right away to stop him and then recover, because he's ultimately going to get there. And when he gets to that right shoulder, forget it. Everybody's too small when you get that deep.
7 for 8 from the floor, 16 points for Broom. He's the high scorer in the game.
That too small thing is kind of like the overrated chant. You know, you're taken away from your accomplishment.
Whoa. Baker Mazzara just went flying, and then Cardwell with a foul on Gainey. Cardwell trying to help him up. The Tennessee players don't want to let Cardwell have anything to do with it.
Everybody, well, they should know. Dylan Cardwell is an unbelievable young man. Yes. He was going over there to pick him up.
Yes, he was. But the Tennessee players wanted to take care of it themselves. The foul on Cardwell. He got ball, but he got arm as well. And Okpara kind of putting his hand on the shoulder of Cardwell. And you're 100% right. We've both gotten to know Dylan Cardwell. He's as good a young man as you'll meet. And he was not trying to escalate the situation at all there.
And it may have looked different to Tennessee, and I get it. There's a... Boy, but Chad Baker Mazzara went flying. I didn't see how that happened.
And KB Burdett, one of the officials, coming over with an explanation. We're going to step aside. Give us the quick version of what you just heard.
Yeah, they're not going back to look at the Dylan Cardwell play. That was just a common foul, and they know it. They're going. There was something a little bit earlier. They called it unobserved, and they're going to observe it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by ESPN Tournament Challenge. Play the #1 bracket game. Well, a lot going on, not surprisingly, between Auburn and Tennessee. A 5-point lead for the Tigers early in the second half. Watch Baker Mazzara. The feet get tangled there. That's the play they went back to look at, not the Cardwell foul. That's a common foul. The officials wanted to know what caused Baker Mazzara to wind up where he was going, and they decided it was nothing that Phillips did. There's no call on that play. So the end result is Jordan Gainey gets 2 free throws after the Dylan Cardwell common foul.
Jordan Gainey, near 80% free throw shooter. And he's had a bunch of good games in conference play. Maybe the best one is against Florida. He had 16 points, 5 assists, 3 steals.
Had the big game back in non-conference too against Illinois. Fans will remember 23 points and the layup end-to-end at the end of the game.
1-2-2, 3-quarter court pressure just to slow the advance.
Baker Mazzara with a floater from the baseline. Weak side rebound Cardwell, but Meshack picks it off. And a foul on Broom, and a really interesting play, because as Broom was trying to get to Meshack, who was there? Lanier, I think. Broom kind of pushed Lanier out of the way just to try to get to Meshack.
Well, Lanier intentionally ran into his path to basically set a little screen on him. It was almost like a pick play, but a really alert steal by Meshack. And he ultimately wound up getting the foul on that. But Dylan Cardwell sort of pushed off to get that rebound and then tried to kick it out, but Meshack read it really, really well.
We've mentioned 3 of the 10 national semifinalists for Defensive Player of the Year award are in this game. Meshack is one of them. I don't know about you. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he won the award.
It wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah. There's a great note in the Tennessee game notes that per synergy, players guarded by Meshack have shot 32.8% from the floor this season. So let's see if Tahat Pettiford takes a crack at those numbers. Pettiford's had a quiet day, and he can certainly light it up for the Tigers.
Every cut is being contested. Hands on guys, grabbing guys. Jordan Gainey did it right underneath the basket on a cut from the right to the left. And the official was right on the baseline to see it. That's why most guys hold in a crowd.
Top of the spot. Broom a little further away from the basket and left it short. Generally, he's been able to get better position than he had right there.
Well, Akpara gave him a bump as soon as he caught it, and that pushed him a little bit away from the basket, made it more difficult.
Each team with a couple of players with 3 fouls here less than 5 minutes into the second half. Most notably, perhaps, Zakai Ziegler of Tennessee, who's been sitting for about 2 minutes right now. Lanier backs up and misses the 3. Broom another rebound.
Cardwell again with another switch, staying in front, forcing a really difficult shot. Chaz Lanier has not been able to even see the basket since early on in the game.
How underrated, if that's the right word, is it, you know, publicly, globally, when a team has a 5-man, as Broom scores again, when a team has a 5-man who can switch on to anybody.
Oh, it's incredible to have that luxury, and it is a luxury. They do it with Broom, and with all respect to Broom, he's not as good of a defender in that regard as Cardwell is.
A clean look for Gainey, his first 3 of the game.
Well, Broom was supposed to switch out, but Cade Phillips just locked him down. It was less of a screen and more of a grab, but it did the job.
And it is tied at 43 here in Nashville. Akpara takes it away.
A great job by Akpara to fight through that back screen and the screen for the screener action.
Here comes Gainey again.
They have to start looking for the slip. The screener's going to be open more than the cutter right now.
Gainey driving Cardwell, kicks it out to Lanier. Barely able to keep it in bounds, and now the shot clock's a factor. Meshack knows it. And another possession. Akpara runs it down for the Volunteers and is fouled.
Boy, this game is going to come down to the loose ball. When it's long or it's loose, who's going to get it? You saw Auburn play 29 seconds of outstanding defense to force a really difficult shot by Jemai Meshack. They just couldn't come up with the defensive rebound.
You just saw Zakai Ziegler is back in the game. He sat about 3.5 minutes. And Rick Barnes is going to trust his senior to not pick up a 4th too quickly here. Hard to get it in, and a foul on Chris Moore.
Moore was just trailing Gainey and just gave a little bit too much to it when Gainey went down. I'm not sure how much contact there was, but just enough for the foul. Watch Moore just behind Gainey here. Yeah, he had his hands on him. I don't know how much that caused it, but because Gainey went down, they're going to call that.
And Jay, that is already the 7th team foul on Auburn here in the second half. 13:37 to go, and Tennessee is already in the bonus.
And really, that changes a lot for Tennessee. You want to continue to drive the ball to put Auburn in a position to foul. The best place to score in a basketball game is the free throw line. It's the highest points per possession on the floor. It's over 1.5 points per possession.
And wave off the basket, a lane violation.
Broom was in first. I don't know that matters. Maybe when they both violate. When the ball goes in, I don't think there should be violations unless there's a foul, but that would have to be a rule change.
Well, the Tennessee fans just saw a replay. You hear their reaction.
Well, it was Broom. I thought it was Broom in first.
It was. Count the basket. The two officials talk. Good job by them. Make sure you get it right. So no violation. The free throw is good.
And the reason I say that about, you know, I'm big on rules changes. But when the shot goes in, who cares whether there's a violation? If it's missed, then you give it to the non-violating team. It's pretty simple.
Little token pressure by Tennessee. Auburn gets it over.
You know who would like that rule change is North Carolina.
Yeah, that was a tough scene last night. You never like to see a play like that have that kind of an impact in the game that it did last night. You feel for Withers. Duke and Louisville coming in the ACC championship game tonight, 8:30 Eastern. Houston and Arizona in the Big 12 championship game, 6 o'clock Eastern today. And of course, we've got Bama and Florida coming after this one. What a day.
I can't remember a semifinal of a tournament when you had teams this highly ranked.
Kelly for three.
Kelly set the screen, then got another screen. It was flex action. He came off a down screen. And he is Auburn's best shooter, and he was ready to fire when he caught it.
Well, to your point, all 4 of these teams are in the top 6 of the net and at KenPom, and they're all projected as 1 or 2 seeds. This feels like a Final Four. They just all happen to play in the same conference.
We'd be lucky to get a Final Four this good.
Ziegler, not this time on Broom. Auburn with the ball and a 1-point lead here in Nashville.
Same play they just ran.
The screen by Broom. Pettiford. The lefty off the glass. No. Broom with the offensive rebound.
But how did he grab that? Cade Phillips was driving him back. What a rebound by Janai Broom.
Taken away by Meshack. And a foul by Pettiford. Another great defensive play by Jemai Meshack.
Meshack was guarding Miles Kelly. When Kelly cleared out, Meshack stayed. Really smart play by Jemai Meshack.
So much on the line here this afternoon, and such a hard-fought, intense, physical game between the Tigers and Vols, and there's a lot more to come in this one. To be.
We'll show you how smart of a defender Jemai Meshack is. Now, you just got the ball inside to Janai Broom down in the low post. And Miles Kelly is going to cut baseline to try to get the double team away from him. But Meshack stays. He doesn't go with Kelly. Watch how he stays here, kind of suckers him, comes back around and takes the ball away. That's a big-time play by one of the best defenders in the country, Jemai Meshack.
Let's bring in Jess for more.
Coach Barnes said the ball goes into Janai Broom and everyone is loading up to rebound. We must block out, but we must block out without fouling. It's about fighting. And offensively, they're wearing down. We have to keep on screening. Now, Jemai Meshack is fired up. He's showing a ton of emotion, as we just saw in that last play. But he said, this is Tennessee basketball. It's what we've been working on all year. Let's go.
It does feel like Tennessee basketball, that's for sure. And they are in quite a fight here with the #1 seed in the SEC, the Auburn Tigers. It's gone back and forth. Neither team has been able to break away. And remember, Auburn's already over the limit. That was the 8th foul. So Meshack at the line hits the front end. Tennessee's committed 5 fouls thus far.
And one of the things that this Auburn defense has done to Tennessee, it's been really difficult to run clean offense. Now, Tennessee's got 14 field goals made. They only have 4 assists. They're having to make individual plays, and a lot of these individual plays are tough twos.
Long pass to Kelly, and he'll scoop it up and in.
Well, if you go for that pass, you had better get it, because if you don't get it, you are leaving your teammates in a bad spot and giving up an easy one.
And the lead changes hands again. Offensive foul on Milicic.
Milicic was just like a pulling guard there. He went and knocked Tahad Pettiford sideways and was basically a moving screen.
And they lose him, Jay. That's number 4.
It wasn't like it was anything violent or anything, but he just jumps in front with 2 hands and knocks him backwards.
So Milicic, who's a terrific player, is on the bench for who knows how long after picking up his 4th foul. And Dubar is back in as, again, in effect, a small ball 4 right now for the Volunteers.
When Tennessee's setting some of these screens, they call it floppy action. But it's basically 2 cutters and 2 screeners. The screener needs to slip to the basket. You can get some openings here. You're so worried about the cutter.
Ziegler working around the screen by Akpara. 5 on the shot clock as Dubar drives. Boy, there's nothing fancy or pretty there, but he is willing his way to the rim.
Just a chest down drive. And he got lower right into the hip of Miles Kelly, who's a little more straight up and down.
Previous time at Iowa State and Hofstra for Darlin Stone Dubar. Chad Baker-Mazara stops on a dime, follows the miss. Tennessee ball.
What a fight for every rebound.
Gainey and Ziegler out there together. Chaz Lanier just went to the scorer's table to check in for Tennessee. And we got bodies flying again. This time it's Miles Kelly and Jordan Gainey, both a little slow to get up.
It's almost like they both slipped.
It's on Kelly. And it's number 4 on him. So as you said earlier, when he picked up one of his earlier fouls, a terrific shooter is going to the bench right now.
Fortunately for Auburn, they got a number of terrific shooters. Coming off that handoff action, yeah, just gave him a little push.
The subway push.
Gainey knocks it down. Jones coming in. So Kelly has 4 for Auburn. Milicic has 4 for Tennessee. And then Jones 3 for Auburn. Ziegler 3 for Tennessee. And the Volunteers keep knocking down their free throws.
And they need to keep driving the ball.
They are 17 for 19 from the line. Midway point of the second half. Pettiford missed it. Wanted a call, didn't get it. Lanier off to Phillips. Five-point lead Vols. Bruce Pearl's going to let his team keep on playing.
What a job by Phillips to get to the front of the rim on the penetration. They just lost him.
And again, you talked about it earlier. Lanier driving the ball more today than we see him sometimes and creating a lot of things.
He's really had to. It's hard to run clean offense against Auburn.
Jones with a drive. Blocked. Ziegler. And Ziegler gets it back. What a hustle play by Zakai Ziegler. It is all Tennessee right now.
Chaz Lanier wanted the ball before Dylan Cardwell switched off of him.
Here comes Gainey. And a block by Johnson.
What a high-level game this is.
2 of the best teams in the nation looking like it today. Pettiford, no. Lanier wraps it up.
Well, Chaz Lanier has really played every aspect of this game. That block he just had, he's sticking his nose in there and rebounding. Now he's got to run 5 miles to get the ball.
And gets the shot off. And hits it. How about that? And Zakai Ziegler gave his teammate a look like, that's my guy right there. Listen to the noise.
It's almost like Chaz Lanier got his offense going with his defense and rebounding. Curling around the screen, shedding the defender and going high over the hand of Chad Baker-Mazara. Chaz Lanier coming alive.
Well, when you saw that these four teams made it to the semifinals and these two games would be played, you knew in both of them, and let's start with the first one, Tennessee and Auburn, that it would be incredibly intense and emotional and hard-fought and meaningful, and it has been every bit of that and more to this point. It is now time to look in the huddle, brought to you by Regions Bank. Player of the Year candidate, SEC Player of the Year, Janai Broome leading the way with 18. First team All-SEC performer, Zakai Ziegler, 15, playing with 3 fouls. For those just tuning in, well, first of all, where were you? And tell us why Tennessee's on an 8-0 run.
Well, Tennessee has really done a good job on the defensive end and on the glass. Janai Broome has not really been touching the ball in an area to score.
And a design play out of the timeout will earn Dylan Cardwell a trip to the free throw line.
That was just a back screen. Then Dylan Cardwell sets a screen. And then he just dove to the basket. Just a beautiful play after the timeout.
Felix Okpara just looked up at the replay on the scoreboard here and said to himself, how is that a foul? Cardwell struggles from the line, 33% on the season, as Moore replaces Baker-Mazara.
Well, it's so difficult to play against this Auburn team. When your man sets a screen, you know you're going to get screened, period.
That'll snap the 8-0 run. And another body flying. This time it's Dubar.
Dubar was setting the screen for Chaz Lanier. Just got run over by Chris Moore.
And for Moore, that will be his third. And it's 2 shots. It's double bonus now for Tennessee. We told you about the Big 12 and the ACC. Other big games coming up here in Champ Week. The semifinals at the American will come your way, 3 Eastern on ESPN2, and then the second semifinal after that. This is a 1-bid league, so we'll see how it sorts itself out. Memphis and Tulane in the first game at 3 o'clock Eastern, although if somebody were to jump up and steal a bid, Memphis has had a good year, so something to keep an eye on if you're a fan of a bubble team.
Yeah, Memphis is going in.
Yeah, Memphis is going in. So
every bubble team is rooting for Memphis.
Yes.
PJ Haggerty's coming off a 42-point game. And he is a bucket getter.
The lob. Cardwell got a piece of it, but it was too high for him to slam it.
A really good recovery bit by Dubar there. He and Okpara were trying to communicate, and that's why Pettiford threw that. But that was a difficult play to complete.
Lanier back to Ziegler. Here comes Okpara with a screen.
I don't think he needed the screen, but now he got the switch.
Shoots over Cardwell and hits it. It's a 3. And this is the largest lead of the game. And again, Meshack tries to take it away from Broome. This time did not succeed.
Same thing. Cutter goes through. He stayed. But must have gotten a piece of the arm because he knocked the ball away.
Second on Meshack. Timeout on the floor. The biggest lead of the game for either team right now. After that 3 for Zakai Ziegler, who's got 18 big points in this one.
I don't think he likes big guys.
Hey, you gotta listen. You gotta trust each other. You gotta trust each other. I trust you. I trust you. I've trusted you all year. each other. Bottom line.
Well, no mystery about the point that Bruce Pearl is trying to make. They've got to trust each other. Until a couple of weeks ago, it was incredibly smooth sailing for this Auburn team, and that's with overcoming some injuries and so on. But Jay, they just kept winning and winning and winning. They lose at A&M last week. No shame in that. They had just clinched the SEC. A&M's a really good team. Then they lose at home to Alabama in overtime. No shame in that. Alabama's a Final Four caliber team. A tight win yesterday over Ole Miss, and now down 11 to Tennessee. What are you seeing, or what do you think Bruce Pearl is seeing that motivates him to say you got to trust each other?
Well, when they're running offense, you know, this Tennessee team is really difficult to play against. They are an outstanding defensive team. They make everything difficult. Some of the decisions, like that lob by Tahad Pettiford, maybe not the best possible decision. And then a foul there, just not a good decision there. Like, what are the chances you're going to take the ball away from Jordan Gainey in that spot? All you've done is send a really good free throw shooter to the line right now. And in the second half, Auburn shooting 31% from the field. Like, this is just not a good foul here.
The second on Baker Mazzara. The Volunteers have made 12 consecutive, 13 now consecutive free throws, and are 20 for 22 from the line in the game. Statistically, if you look at the box score, the biggest difference between the two teams right now is fouls committed and free throws made.
And the free throw line, Auburn's defense doesn't do them any good. You know, they cannot put Tennessee on the line down the stretch and hope to win this game.
Kelly and Tennessee fans thought he might have got away with some steps.
Ran a little hammer action, and a terrific job by Chaz Lanier.
Broom swings it. Cardwell gets it to go.
Boy, they got caught in communicating on a switch. Lanier and Dubar trying to switch to pick up Cardwell, and he wound up wide open.
Broom telling the Auburn fans, we need you. Get noisy.
I think Tennessee, off these screens, they need to start looking for a slip of the screener. That could be open. Another foul.
Baker Mazzara again.
Just why reach there? You know that Ziegler's going to look to drive at some point. And part of the reason he's looking to drive is because you're in that foul trouble. And it's going to be free throws. Baker Mazzara just takes a jump toward him and then winds up fouling.
Ziegler now a perfect 8 for 8 from the line in this one. Auburn, the regular season champs and the #1 team in the polls for 8 consecutive weeks until this week, until the week at the end of the regular season. Still a #1 seed, still considered by many to be the #1 overall seed, but down a dozen right now to Tennessee. Baker Mazzara puts up a tough shot and hits a three.
Boy, he did it after absorbing that bump, that chest-to-chest bump. Talk about a difficult shot. Maybe that'll pick Auburn's spirits up a little bit.
Lanier with Broom switching onto him. The deep one. Way too strong, and it belongs to Jones and the Tigers.
Lanier should have driven that ball.
Into Broom, one-on-one with Okpara. Gets to the paint and draws the foul.
Just some unorthodox movement, just difficult to keep him out of that lane. But watch Chad Baker Mazzara takes this bump here from Jordan Gainey chest to chest, but he just takes a step back and drills a three. What a big time shot. And Auburn needed it.
Jay, that foul on Felix Okpara is number 4 on him. Igor Milicic Jr. is on the bench with 4. There's also Cade Phillips. But at the moment, at least, Rick Barnes is going to leave Okpara in the game with 4 fouls. Boy, Broom certainly has a knack of drawing fouls, doesn't he?
And a knack of scoring and rebounding and passing and blocking shots, winning awards.
Made them both. It's a 7-point game. Still better than 5 minutes to go. And a 5-second call. And it's over to Auburn.
Auburn has always been great in those special situations and out of bounds plays. Now Janai Broom taking the ball in. Now, unless they change things. Now Miles Kelly's going to do it now, but he usually comes in, he'll set a screen. There it is, the screen, and he gets one.
Here he is. Yes! You called it, they ran it, and it's a 4-point game all of a sudden. Timeout, Tennessee. What a game. We're back in 30. .448 to go. 8-0 run Auburn after a great inbounds play. Got him another 3.
Well, let's take a look at Miles Kelly here. He's the inbound guy. And when he inbounds it, he's going to step in and set a screen. It's a back screen. Then he's going to get a down screen. This is called flex action. He curls it, goes right into his shot, and drills the 3. Out of bounds underneath. Auburn is outstanding defending it, and they're really good running it.
Teams that play against the Tigers will tell you at practice they spend more time on out-of-bounds plays when they're about to play Auburn than any other team in the country.
Yeah, it can be a separator. And Auburn spends more time on it, going over it and over it on what they're going to do. And oftentimes you can tell by who takes the ball out of bounds what they may run.
Tennessee Bowl, 4-point game. 3 players on the floor, each have 4 fouls. Milicic and Okpara for Tennessee, Kelly for Auburn.
Well, they looked at that slip with Milicic. It was open.
Milicic fumbles the pass out of bounds.
I think Milicic was considering what he was going to do after he caught it, instead of just catching it and then surveying things.
And Rick Barnes may be in offense-defense mode already. Lanier just came out. Meshack is in. He's on Baker Mazzara. Another touch for Broom, and why wouldn't they?
Oh, smart play. I thought he got fouled there, too.
He did as well, but he knocks it down. It's a 2-point game. Four minutes to go. And another turnover. Ziegler thought Milicic was going to cut to the basket.
That was the slip we were just talking about. Instead of slipping, he went to the 3-point line. Just a miscommunication, and Auburn now has the momentum. What a game.
3 straight turnovers committed by Tennessee, and at the other end, Auburn looking much more like themselves offensively.
Janai Broom looking like he's going for the fadeaway, then comes back into the body, drew the contact, and still got it to go.
Between semifinals, we'll talk with the winners, whoever that might be. Greg Sankey will also visit. How does Tennessee get its composure back?
Well, when those guards come up, those pin downs, when they curl, the big just needs to slip. He's going to be wide open at the rim.
The ball is going to Janai Broom right now. Let's go back screen, getting him to that left block. Mark it down.
Auburn once down by 11, right back in it, guys.
Reese, guys, thank you very much. Boy, not only a great day today, but how about tomorrow with a championship game here, and then later on, hey, it's Selection Sunday, and it all starts at 6 Eastern with SportsCenter on ESPN. Reese and the guys look at the men's field as the brackets are announced, then bracketology with a breakdown of each region, and at 8 Eastern, the women's field at 68 is revealed. Bracketology and more continuing on at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. It is a 10-0 Auburn run. Their 31st such run of the season. Remarkable. And they've got the ball down by 2. Overload. Lob for Broom. Missed a couple of cracks at it, and it's Tennessee ball.
Well, that's the same play we diagrammed on College Game Day last week. They overload the right side, throw over the top, but Tennessee defended it well.
Lanier flying around a screen, misses it, but the follow goes for the always active Cade Phillips.
Boy, Janai Broom tried to give a little bit of help. That left nobody to block out Cade Phillips. What an answer by Tennessee.
Snapping the 10-0 drought. The double on Broom here. Jones the drive. And a foul is called.
It was Okpara. A terrific vertical contest by Phillips, but Okpara just swung pretty wildly. And I think that was what got whistled. Maybe they gave it to Phillips.
No, they gave it to Phillips. Yep.
Boy, I thought that was a pretty good vertical contest. Well, they could have given to either one of them, I guess.
The good news for Tennessee is had it been Okpara, he'd have been out of the game. On Phillips, it's just his second. Almost automatic at the line. Almost. His first miss of the day. And again, a guy who's 92% on the season. 3-point game.
Still running that floppy action. There's the slip.
Phillips couldn't quite get it over the rim. And Broom's getting a touch every single time down the court.
And he's so good with that hook pass.
Kelly misses the 3.
Tennessee might want to think about that high ball screen again, get in the lane.
The winner to the SEC Tournament Championship game tomorrow. Gainey scoops it up and in.
Boy, terrific curl, and he didn't bring it back to his right hand just to get it up quicker off the glass.
15 big points off the bench for Jordan Gainey. Doubling Broom again. Jones for 3. And Ziegler down with a rebound as we go inside 2 minutes here in Nashville.
The double on Janai Broom, it does lead to an open shot, but it makes somebody else beat you other than Janai Broom.
Tennessee not in a hurry at the moment. Ziegler, Okpara the tough catch, and lost it. Kelly back for the Tigers.
They're really surprised the foul wasn't called there on Chad Baker-Mazzaro.
And Cardwell is injured. He was slow to get up and signaled to Pat Adams, one of the officials, that he needed to come out of the game. So they blow the whistle, and Chaney Johnson will come in.
I thought there was contact on this lob. Yeah, I'm really surprised that a foul wasn't called there.
Johnson will inbound. 1:31 on the game clock. 5-point lead Vols. Baker-Mazzaro.
Well, Tennessee just does not allow themselves to get screened.
As good a defensive team as there is in the nation, but a better offensive play right there by Chad Baker-Mazara.
A little step back, change of speed, change of direction, and gets to that left hand off the glass. What a superior individual move by Chad Baker-Mazara.
1 minute in regulation. Gainey down to Phillips, gathers, tipped, and Broom down with it for Auburn. And Baker-Mazara down behind the play. Two pretty good opportunities near the rim for the Volunteers. One for Phillips, one for Okpara. Baker-Mazara is now up.
Phillips hesitated rather than go straight up, but Okpara had a great opportunity for the tip-in with the left hand or to corral it.
And Chad Baker-Mazara, at least as of now, is going to be staying in the game. So it's a one-possession game with 47.4 to go. It's Auburn ball. Double bonus both ways. The Tigers have the possession arrow. Kelly to Jones. Broom wants a touch and gets it. Gets to the left. Follow. Ziegler the rebound. A foul, though, has been called. And it's on Felix Okpara.
I don't get that one. He was just knocking the ball back out. I do not get that one unless there was something I couldn't see. All he was doing was knocking the ball back out.
Boy, it looked like Tennessee had secured the rebound and was going the other way.
That's a terrible call. Terrible.
Not only instead of Tennessee ball, it's now Auburn free throws, and it's also the fifth foul on Okpara.
Unless they were calling the initial contact on the shot a foul, that maybe I could understand. Maybe it was just a late call. Maybe it was that. I don't know. But if it was that, no way. That's just rebounding, period. That's not a foul.
Yeah, he just swatted the ball there.
If that's where the call was, that's a terrible call.
Broom 5 for 10 at the line today.
Whatever happens here, make or miss, you have to expect if you're Tennessee, Auburn's coming after you, so you have to be strong with the ball.
A smaller lineup now for Tennessee. One big, four guards. Out of bounds, and they're going to look at it to see who should have the ball. Two misses at the line for Johni Broome. You know, every year around this time you hear
the play is under review.
Well, maybe the conference tournaments don't mean as much, and maybe it's best to go home a day early if you're a top seed. All you have to do is watch the games.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Now the ball looked like it hit the baseline. The question is who to go off of, and it looked like
Johnson.
It hit Johnson last, but Phillips was right there. That's tough to call live.
I didn't see. They gave it to Auburn. The initial ruling is Auburn ball, but did it hit Chaney Johnson last? Do they have enough to overturn it? So it is swatted here by Meshack, but watch the right arm of Johnson there, the right wrist of Johnson. Sure looked like the ball changed directions. I think it did. Yeah. Tennessee ball.
After further review, the call on the floor has been reversed. It would be Tennessee's basketball, 28
be a spot throw in for Tennessee. And I think you can expect, or should expect, there to be size on the ball with Auburn. They'll put a big guy on it to make it difficult to inbound it. And you have to be strong as soon as you catch it, because Auburn's coming.
Milicic to inbound and Broom on the ball.
And remember, spot throwing, he can't run.
They've got timeouts, but it's into Ziegler in the corner. And a held ball is the call, and the arrow's going to give it to Auburn.
The last place you want to catch it is that coffin corner. Even a player as good as Zakai Ziegler, he just got tied up there before I guess he could call a timeout. You can't go anywhere here, just trapped, and Janai Broom reaches in, gets a piece of it. And it is a held ball possession, Auburn. Wow.
26.6 to go. Lanier out and Phillips in for Rick Barnes. Tennessee a little bit bigger on the defensive end now.
And I don't think Auburn necessarily needs to have a three here. Just get a quick score.
Baker Mazzara to Kelly. To Broom. Tipped. Baker Mazzara misses the three. And it is still Auburn ball, and they may look at this one as well. They will.
Unless it went off Broom. Both he and Meshack seem to be there at the same time. And I'm sure they'll also look to make sure the time's exactly right.
Weiss basketball, the play is under review.
So the call is Auburn ball.
Watch Broom and Meshack. There, it hit Broom first, then Meshack. So I think that seems like it was the right call.
No, I think it hit Broom.
It hit Meshack first.
It hit Meshack and then Broom.
How about that?
Yep. They should overturn this one.
So that's Meshack's
That's
arm.
Meshack. That's Broom.
There you go. Good catch.
If we're seeing it the way we think we're seeing it.
Yeah, you're right. Meshack got it first and then Broom last. Good catch. Yeah, that should be Tennessee ball if they see it the same way and see the same replay.
Pat Adams will make the announcement.
And I'm sure they'll check the time to make sure the clock is supposed to stop when the ball hits something out of bounds.
After further review, the call on floor is reversed. It will be Tennessee's basketball with 14.8 seconds on the game clock.
14.8, so they put 0.6 of a second back on. And it is Tennessee ball. Again, needing to get the ball in cleanly in a relatively safe spot. Again, it'll be Broom on the ball, and we'll see if it's Milicic inbounding again for Tennessee, and it looks like it is.
Yeah, they're going with a football play here.
Love this. Look at this.
They have to be in bounds, though. They can't be out of bounds. You can be out of bounds when it's
once they hand the ball to Milicic, right? To the inbounder?
No, I think when you can run the baseline, you can step somebody out. But when it's a spot throwing, you have to be on the floor.
Right. Thought about going long, and a timeout called by Milicic to retain possession. Don't go anywhere. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Right now, in a game like this, the little things are everything. Just 14.8 to go. It is Tennessee ball again, trying to get the ball in. They just used a timeout. Ziegler's been sensational. Broom at times has been unstoppable. And the biggest statistical difference in the game has been the free throw line. Some fouls that Auburn took early in this second half eventually led to Tennessee getting on the line early. They took advantage, but now it's all about getting the ball inbound.
We're seeing why it is so difficult over and over again to get the ball inbounds against Auburn.
The lob up for Meshack. He's got it, and Baker Mazzara fouled him. And may have inadvertently poked him in the eye or something to that effect. Tried to help him up and apologize. And Meshack is still down. And Ziegler is running over to the bench as if maybe some help is needed from a member of the medical staff. Milicic will help Meshack up. And we'll see if he's okay to take the free throws.
It's the left hand of Chad Baker Mazzara here as he reaches.
And Meshack now going over to the bench to a member of the medical staff or the training staff.
Looked like he caught a pinky in the eye almost.
Yeah, up in the left eye. So the immediate issue is, can Meshack shoot the free throws? Don Daly, we thank him very much for coming over. Meshack wears contacts, and the poke in the eye knocked one of the contacts out. So they'll give him some time to try to work that through.
Better put the right ones in. Don't want to see a smaller basket up there.
Boy, has this game had a little bit of everything and then some.
3 knockdown rule. But this has been intense. And your point about you think these players don't care about a league championship, they do.
Meshack 77% on the season, 4 for 6 today. Two-possession game. Phillips in, Milicic out.
I think you're going to see Tennessee put some full court pressure on just in a token fashion just to try to slow the advance a bit. But right now for Tennessee, make or miss here. No threes, no fouls.
Tennessee now 25 of 27 from the free throw line in this game. Jones can't get a shot off. Seconds are ticking away. Kelly, no. Ziegler has it, and Tennessee is going to the championship game. What an effort put forth by both of these teams here today. The defending SEC tournament champions, the Auburn Tigers, have been knocked out of the semis. And it's the Tennessee Volunteers who are going to the title game tomorrow afternoon.
Talk about a toughness win. That was a toughness win by Tennessee. Incredible defense. They would not get screened. And they really hung with Auburn on the glass. Zakai Ziegler, once again, was fantastic.
What a great first game here today. And another great one is coming your way. In fact, the teams are already taking the court. Florida and Alabama are making their way onto the court already. Right after this Tennessee 70-65 win over Auburn in semifinal number 1 here with the SEC men's tournament in Nashville. What a scene, what a game. And we've still got more to come. Zakai Ziegler leading the way. Zakai Ziegler leading the way with 20, also had 4 assists. Gainey 15 for 15. And again, the free throw line, the biggest separator in this game. The Volunteers making 25 at 27. Rick Barnes and company are moving on.
What a win for Tennessee, and the Volunteers move into the championship game of the SEC tournament. Reese Davis, Jay Williams, and Seth Greenberg here. Dan and Jay talked about it. Free throw line, making clutch free throws. And I thought one of the biggest things was the toughness Tennessee showed after Auburn went on a 10-0 run and seemingly had the ball staggered.
They regained their poise, but getting to the bonus early was the difference in this game. Disrupting Auburn in terms of anything they want to do, but the toughness, the togetherness, the trust of Tennessee was on display.
It was unbelievable. I mean, they got to the bonus with 13 minutes left to go in the second half. 93% from the free throw line as Rick Barnes is walking in here.
What's up, brother?
But you got to give a lot of credit, man. Chaz Lanier only scored 2 points in the last 30 minutes of the game. How you doing,
Hey, we talked about earlier that Chaz Lanier can be a closer. But, man, he's a great opener. He can get your offense off and running.
Hey, Rick,
very early.
Can I ask you a question, Rick? You have not aged since you recruited me at Clemson. What is going on?
Well, I wanted you there for a little bit. I need you got there for a little bit.
How much did this game age you?
Well, you know what? So much respect for Bruce and Auburn. They've had an incredible year, and but you know what? And it's a game of runs. We made one, they made one, and believe me, when we were up, I knew they would make a run. They do a great job making it hard to get the ball in. But we did make enough plays, and again, I think getting to the bonus, like Seth said early, was big.
After you guys built that 11-point lead, and then Auburn cut it to 2, you'd said earlier, less about X's and O's, more about toughness. What did you emphasize with your team during that timeout?
Well, again, everybody's got their schemes, but everybody kind of knows everybody else's schemes this time of year. I just felt like I kept telling you, we're going to have to make plays on both ends. I thought we did a better job at times with Janai. He's such a hard guy to guard. We've tried to double it to get him out of his hand. Then in the last minute or so, we're going to protect the three-point line. But just a great team effort. I mean, our guys made plays. That's what they did, and that's what you have to do.
Go ahead. Earlier in the game, you created some switches and attacked those switches. How much of a focus was that for the game?
Well, you know, we're just running simple floppy action, and the more we run it, you got to give our guys credit. They start figuring it out themselves, how to mix up their cuts, how to use each other, coming out from underneath the basket different ways. And, again, I got to give them credit. They're the ones that start making it happen.
Rick, talk to me a little bit about Zakai Ziegler. Obviously walking up here right now, great game.
We're going to talk about this little fellow?
Yeah, man. He makes so many plays down the stretch. Just a quarterback on the court.
Just so you know, he's the only guy we recruit over you.
I see why.
If I saw you at the same time, I'm going after Zakai. And you're right. He does it. He's been around. He's competitive. I thought he had great command of his team today, especially in the huddles. You know, he kept saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this the next 3 possessions, and we did it.
Hey, man, I was seeing you talk to a lot of your players, especially in those inbound plays, getting the ball. What were you telling your team down the stretch as the game was most critical?
Yeah, well, really, I've been playing against Auburn a few years now. You know, I know when they get into these tight games how much pressure they put on you. And, you know, they do a really good job pressing the ball. So I was just telling everybody really just stay composed, and if we compose, we'll take care of it.
First of all, you're the toughest dude in all college basketball. There's no doubt about it. What is it about this team? You know, everyone says, well, they get stuck offensively, they do this, they do that. What makes this team special?
Really, I would just say our connection. You know, we spent hours and hours in the locker room after practice, you know, just hanging out, laughing, joking, you know, and I feel like that really translated a lot on the court. So, you know, how we are off the court and how connected we are, how much we joke around, how much, you know, we talk to each other and how connected we are, I feel like it translates a lot for us.
He cheats in video games, though, doesn't he?
Oh, he's trash. In the golf game, I'm way better than him.
Undefeated.
I had one for you. I know you guys have been ranked top 10, number 1, multiple times. Is there still a part of this team that feels underrated? You feel like you guys have played with the chip on your shoulder?
Most definitely. You know, Coach Barnes does a really good job of keeping us humble. And so, you know, just, you know, every single day in practice, you know, coming in we really haven't done anything yet. And, just keeping that mindset, Jamai, Jordan, myself, we've done a really good job telling everybody and making sure, that we haven't really done anything. And so, we just got to keep that chip on our shoulder, whether we rank number 1 or rank 101. We just got to keep on going and keep getting better.
And people talk about this time of year, especially for a team of your caliber, that it's about getting to the Final Four, something Tennessee hasn't done, or winning a national championship. With everything you've been through in Knoxville, what would be the significance of cutting down the nets here in the state of Tennessee tomorrow and winning the SEC tournament?
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. It would mean a lot to us. It would mean a lot to the staff, my teammates. It would mean a whole bunch of all nations. So, if we come out and do our job, we got a pretty good chance of doing that.
You see this sign over here?
Yeah, there you go.
Let's go Zakai.
I like that.
You know where you're going? Championship game tomorrow.
Yes,
congratulations.
Hey,
Rick.
When he sees signs like that, he's thinking one thing, NIL.
I wish I had that problem, Zakai.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. You had some more time with him. That NIL will go up.
Look, I'm looking for reparations over here, okay? That's what I'm looking for. Just
Zakai, Rick, congratulations. What a game. What a battle between Tennessee and Auburn in the Vols. Seeded 4th. One time, as we've mentioned, they're ranked number 1 in the country this year. And they beat Auburn 70-65, and they await the winner of the next semifinal, Florida and Alabama, which is coming up in just a few minutes.